Welcome. I am not Marlena Patterson. I didn't make that flight to Sweden. I do want to, though, first of all, straight off the top, tell you Marlena's doing much better with her sniffles and all that kind of stuff, and you can expect to see her back here really soon. My name is Blue Shepherd, and I've been around the gem world for a little bit, and I want to share some of that with you. I want to bring you inside the somewhat secretive world of gemstones. Many layers where everybody will tell you everybody will tell you they know everything about it. I'll tell you I know very little about it because there is so much more to learn every day, and I'm anxiously awaiting tomorrow's new knowledge and that sort of thing. But the one thing you have to know, the one thing you've got to understand is that gemstones resonate with some people and not with everybody. Most people have a distinct reaction, a response mechanism. For instance, if you're driving, if you're watching a Stephen King movie and suddenly that little gray cat turns around and goes, and comes right at you, and your reaction is immediate. If you see, if you smell that smell of pumpkin pie or barbecue or whatever you really like to smell every so often, it gives you a response. If you hear a song that you've always loved, it brings back a memory of something maybe that you really, really miss or that you really loved. And gemstones are visual music. The color, the nuances, the flash, the peculiarities, the character of a gemstone are there to evoke a response mechanism in you. But most people have never had the time, never taken the time to slow down a little bit and just check out this one little side of life, this little thing they call gemstones. Because that response mechanism, that little reaction that you have to a really finely cut, top quality gemstone is a type of understanding, a kind of communion with nature. Something in that gemstone draws you, and you know it. Sort of like you might hear a song for the very first time on the radio, and you get into that song and you go, yes, yeah, I love that. This is visual music, gemstones. And that response mechanism in you has been not just in you, but is in quite a large percentage of people in the world today, and has been throughout history. And we look at, for instance, some mines in the world. There are mines in India that go back thousands of years. The emerald mines in Colombia at Muso and Chivor and Cosquez, they go back centuries upon centuries, perhaps well over 1,000 years, beyond the time of the Inca civilization. And the Inca civilization, until the expedition of Don Francisco Pizarro in 1532, like we were 1492, 1532 was 40 years later, Pizarro sailed into the coastline of Peru and began to take over the area for the Spanish crown. But the Inca Empire was there in a huge civilization with enormous cities and roads and more highways than the Roman Empire had. And yet, as isolated from all the world civilizations that we knew of in Europe and Africa and Asia, we all communicated with Europe, Africa, and Asia. When Pizarro entered the Inca civilization, they had such reverence, such a response mechanism, such a highly developed sense of value that they placed upon gemstones and gold. And one of my dearest friends, perhaps my closest friend in the world, his family owns the Museo de Oro. The Museo de Oro is the gold museum in Lima, Peru, in which Inca treasures are on display. But the reason I'm pointing this out is the Inca civilization was isolated from all the other world civilizations. And we hear about the Empress of Russia. We hear about the Empress of China. We hear about the great kingdoms of Africa. We hear about the Spanish Isabella and all of these people that we hear about Marie Antoinette and the famous jewels and gems of Queen Victoria. And we think that that's because they all communicated with each other and they all taught each other about gemstones. But my point is this. My point is this. Here is a civilization, the Inca civilization in South America, cut off from the rest of the world, just like so many others in Southeast Asia, in the Pacific, who just spontaneously, independently, completely in an isolated way, responded to gems and gold just the way other civilizations in other times and other places far, far distant have responded. And my point being, there is something in our DNA. There's something hardwired into our brains. Not everybody has this. Not everybody likes coffee. Some people like tea. Some people like, you know, a little Schlitz. But everybody has their own taste. But what I'm saying is this. That response to gemstones that you may be developing because of this TV show, because of your love of gemstones and jewelry that myself and Marlena and everybody here at American Jewelry Network work so hard to provide to you, let it open you up. Let it be like music. You know, people that listen to music for the first time, they may grow up to be musicians themselves or great dancers. They may grow up to have music as a huge part of their lives. And what I'm saying is, this is another type of taste, another type of understanding of nature, because all the gemstones we show you are completely natural. They're cut out of some of the rarest, most unavailable substances found in nature. Nature almost has to have double and triple coincidences and accidents for some of these gemstones to even occur. And tonight, I'm going to be presenting some stones that may evoke a response in you. And if it does, just cut out all the other extraneous chatter, listen to what we've got to tell you about it, and if you don't buy anything, that's fine. If you want to, you can phone that phone number right there, 800-818-2404, and I'm here in real time. This is not a taped show or anything like that. You can call in, you can bounce a question off me, or ask somebody in the